Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Who Cares? It's me again, Charlene.
And Neil.
And today's topic, we're going to talk about recovery. So, let's talk about recovery for yourself. So, what was it like being a gambler?
Yeah, I suppose that if you're going to talk about recovery, it's good to talk about what it was like as a gambler.
Mm,
As a gambler, um, like for me, it started young as a young boy playing cards and going on and playing fruit machines and then getting into horses and dogs. And when I went into horses and dogs as a gambler, I was playing larger amounts, 16, 17. I used to get loans from my mum. She would get loans. She had a door to door, get loans herself.
mm,
She was a single parent,
mm-hmm,
and I was very manipulative, very persuasive, and
mm,
pay £5 a week. You get like £100 loan, pay £140 back. It was quite high interest. I was starting to lose my wages. So there was a lot of um, running about trying to get money together. Growing up, I would like saw logs and steal coal and be inventive of how to get money and cut grass and
mm-hmm.
all these different activities. Um, I ended up in Bologna prison through stealing directly for money to get gambling,
Oh, dear. Okay.
and and that was with a few friends.
Right.
We had broke into this premises and stole these items and sold them, and I ended up in prison. And when I was in prison, I thought, what do I want to do, and how could I get my life back in order?
Mm,
So I thought, I'll get my teeth sorted, I'll move out my hometown, and then we'll go and get some help from my gambling.
mm,
And I did. I came out. I moved to a homeless hostel about 3 or 4 miles away. Um, I went to the dentist and got my teeth sorted, and I got some counselling.
mm,
But when a counsellor, I would tell them exactly what they wanted to know, and as soon as the money went into my hand, I changed. My first thought was 2 o'clock horse race or the 2:33 dog race, and I had all the
right.
times and horses' names in my mind, and I was away. And for the next 6 months, I would do that until I was getting kicked out of the homeless hostel.
Mm,
And the receptionist lady, unbeknown to me, she was part of Alcoholics Anonymous, and she made a contact. She asked me if I wanted to go to Gams Anonymous,
mm,
and she arranged someone from Glasgow, which is quite incredible when I think back. Somebody drove 20 miles to give me a lift, asking for nothing,
right.
and taking me there and bringing me back. And I went for 3 months. I stopped. I gambled again because I thought it was financial. And after 3 months, I was working it and collecting money. So I proceeded for the next 20 years from town to town. I moved to England. I would work with employment agencies, and I would still get my social security, which was a bit illegal, very illegal,
Oh, dear. I'm
and
learning a lot.
very illegal.
Uh-huh.
And I moved to Reading, Oxford, Bristol, London,
Mm,
Southampton, Winchester, all these different towns,
mm,
and I would go to Gams Anonymous.
right.
And within the Gams Anonymous, I would stop for that period of time again, 3 to 4 months, and then go back to it. I never seen recovery beyond financial, and that's
Mm,
why I never sort of kind of got this thing called recovery. I
mm,
always thought it was financial.
I see.
Yeah.
So, what made you stop?
What made me stop was, it might sound a bit biblical or
Mm,
spiritual or in nature, but it's my truth.
mm,
And my truth was that I was sitting in a toilet seat, and I was passing blood, and I had a cold sweats, and I really thought my life was over, and I was thinking get set and get found in bed sort of type thing. Um, I I was a street drinker by this time, as well as like the gambling, and the two thoughts come into my head back to back. It's a drink that's doing the damage. Why don't you stop? 3 days later, I stopped drinking, which was the 13th of April 2005. I was going to AA meetings. I moved to Worthing because I knew there was a homeless hostel there that whenever you go in, they breathalyse you. So I thought I'll go there, get oxygen, and find out where I'm going to go. I hadn't attended. I'd been to one AA meeting in my life, and I went to the day centre to get a cheap breakfast.
Right.
And then I seen a sign, AA Saturday morning, and I went along, and I fell in love with it because people were there that wanted to stop the same as me. But 6 months later, 16th of November 2005, I went to GA again, and I stopped gambling from that very first day.
Wow.
So that was my last gamble was the 16th of November 2005.
How long have you been gambling before you stopped?
From about 8 years old.
Wow.
So I actually stopped drinking at 40, gambling at 41, and smoking at 42. They say life begins at 40.
Sounds about right for you. So how has life changed since you stopped gambling?
So it's been 16 and a half years since I gambled.
Wow, well done.
So the last 16 and a half years, no gambling, no drinking,
No smoking.
no smoking. I run the Brighton Marathon,
Right.
and there's a great quote by Napoleon Hill. He says, "What the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve." So when I was running the marathon, when I was preparing for the marathon, and I was doing it for charity, and people would ask, "How long is it going to take you? How long is it going to take you?" And I would just off the top of my head say 5 hours and 5.5 hours, 5.5 hours. So when you get a little chip on your training shoe, so when I crossed the line and I got my time, it said 5 hours, 29 minutes and 52 seconds.
So close.
So close.
Yeah.
So I got healthy doing the marathon and training for the marathon. I reconnected with my father. I hadn't seen him for 25 years.
Wow.
And I went to see him. And luckily, like a bit of a relationship, and I seen him just before he died, and make amends and speak to him. I reconnected with my mum, my sister, and my family in Scotland, and from early recovery, being up there 2 or 3 times a year. I went into education. At primary school, they asked me the wrong question. They asked me what 6/7s were. I didn't know that. If they asked me what 670p were, I knew that was £4.20. So they asked me the wrong questions. And
Okay. Yeah.
I got remedial, and I was held back for non-progressive child sort of thing. And I labelled myself stupid, thick and inadequate. And I went to the local college here in Worthing, and I've done an aptitude test. I can't remember what I got, but it impressed me. It was something like 17 out of 100, and I was used to get 2 and 3 out of 100, and it encouraged me to go and do entry level 3 at English and level 1 at maths. And then I progressed, and then I done a pre-access, and then I done counselling, and I got a diploma for counselling, and now I'm a therapist, which is it's a wow factor for me when I think about it.
Yeah. What struck me is when you said the teacher asked you the wrong question. Being a former teacher, I just reflected, did I ask wrong questions to my students? So that's why, that's the reaction. So anyway, going back to the topic, what words of encouragement can you give to those who are watching right now, who are still in the pit or in the rock bottom, and still suffering from gambling?
Through my experience, if I was going to give advice to anyone, which sometimes I hesitate to do,
being a therapist, you're not allowed to give advice.
I would suggest that to contemplate that life is not just about finances.
Mm.
Life is about empathy.
Mm-hmm.
When you put yourself in someone else's position, when you can see the impact emotionally you're having on others, there's a recovery where you will feel at ease, be at peace with yourself, have self-confidence, doing meditation and relaxing, enjoying sceneries, vistas, enjoying the sensation of hot water, nice food, nice clothes, being overwhelmed by the adjustments that you can make in your life to further your career, get into relationships. I mean, I add something. One of the greatest things of my entire life of achievements is getting married to this young lady.
I'm not really young. I just look young.
So may I say, like it really enhances your relationships with family, with friends,
Mm-hmm.
with the people that you meet round about you. So recovery has got so much to it, and it's just sometimes, if you say in your mind right now you can't, I'll ask you, what would happen if you could? If you had all that, what would that be like? It's possible. Anything is possible. And I'll quote again, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
And let me add to that, just go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
Go for gold. Yes. And so anyway, let's talk about help that they can get here in UK. So
Yeah, within the United Kingdom, there is help available. Off the top of my head, you've got Gordon Moody. They do a good residential rehabilitation for both male and female gamblers.
mm-hmm.
You have the London Clinic for gamblers. They do CBT.
Yeah.
The company that I work for, Break Even, we do counselling between 5 and 8 sessions for free for gamblers and affected others.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a project on that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
There's other various groups.
Care.
Care do forums. They have an online chat group. They have a 24-hour helpline number, which is really helpful for people in early recovery when they feel the intense wanting to go back gambling. They can phone up and chat to somebody and get it out of the system. Yeah, there is a lot of stuff building up. There's a momentum.
Gamblers Anonymous as well.
Gamblers Anonymous is up and down the country, and there's a lot of good groups online now. Gambling, friends, family, and recovery.
Is that international?
There's a website, gamblersandrecovery.com.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's talk about your course, Green Shoot Recovery. How is it doing?
Green Shoot Recovery is a pilot scheme that I started, a 7-week course that looks at the gambling, the thinking, and the behaviours and sustainability. You know, how do you reconnect with family? How do you increase your productivity at work, and how do you get promotion, and look at your skills and look at your hobbies, and look at how you as a person have got a uniqueness, USP, unique selling point to this world.
That's my school when I was in the Philippines, USP. Anyway, let's continue.
and it really is. It's something to be behold. There is help out there.
Okay, and don't hesitate to ask for help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all for today, I guess. And just to tell everybody, we are in the city of Bath Spa.
Bath Spa.
Yeah, so if you can see, we're experiencing some kind of rain and sunshine, but it's a good city. So anyway, if you have any questions or clarifications, or you have any suggestions on what we're going to discuss in the next video, please leave us a comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's all for now. This is Charlene.
And Neil.
Bye. You like that? That's better. Let's go!